Hey everyone, and welcome to December's TBR Assemble. We are now at the end of the year, which means it's time to do my final TBR of the year. And seeing as back in October I got all the way to the end of the TBR Assembler board, I didn't really want to start right at the beginning again just to restart again in January. So what I have done is picked a whole load of prompts out of the prompt cards I have not used yet and made a TBR out of that. So let's get into it. My first prompt was Professor X, which is to read a disabled author or main character, so I'm going for the next book in the Toby Day series by Shauna Maguire, and I love this series so much. I know I've just started Encrypted and really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to continue on with that series, but I do want to make more progress in the Toby Day series as well, so I'm going to be ending the year on this series. If you do not know what Toby Day is, it is essentially a urban fantasy series following Toby Day, who is a half-fae detective. I've really enjoyed the first 3 books I think it is I've read at least 2 or 3 of them anyway, and I've really enjoyed them so far, so I'm really excited to continue on with this series and finish out my year with Shauna Maguire. Next is Captain Carter, which is to read a female-led retelling, so I'm going for T. Kingfisher's Thornhedge. This is going to be my audiobook for the month, and this is following the idea of what if Sleeping Beauty was actually a changeling child, and that just sounds really fun, really interesting. I've been wanting to try another T. Kingfisher ever since I read Hollow Places earlier this year. This is a really short audiobook, which is going to be perfect for me considering December is obviously not really a reading month past like the 20th of December, so I'm really excited to read this one and see what I think about it. My next prompt was Rhodey, which is to continue a fantasy series, so I am going for Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, because as per usual, I have left a massive, chunky, massive Shadowhunters book until the last minute to finish. So again, that is happening, but it's the last time this is happening because this is the final book in the Shadowhunters series that I still need to read. So very excited to get to this one. I've really enjoyed the other 2, and I'm really excited to see how all of this wraps up. So definitely excited to get to this one, if a little nervous because it is, like I said, rather chunky. I also picked up Nebula, which is a book from the priority list, so I have gone for Bite Risk by S.J. Wills because I've been meaning to read this book all year. It's been described as being for fans of Skullduggery Pleasant. It's about 4 teenagers trying to survive in a town where suddenly everybody has turned into a werewolf, and I've been desperate to read it all year and I just haven't gotten around to it, and we are in the final month of the year, and if I don't get around to reading it now, I'm going to be really annoyed with myself. So I'm finally going to be reading this book, and I'm very excited to do it. I'm hoping it's going to be quite a quick read, and we shall see what I think about it when I've read it. I also picked up the prompt of Gilgamesh, which was to read an Own Voices big book, and seeing as I already had Chain of Thorns on the list, which is massive, I went for physically big hardback in terms of The Ending Fire by Sarah Ella Arifi. This is the final one in this series, and I am so excited to finally see how this all ends. I got this on pre-order a couple of months ago now, and I just haven't had time to read it yet, so now I'm so excited to finally finish out the series and see exactly how it all ends and what happens to the characters and everything else. And then finally, I also picked up Stan Lee Any Comic I Want, because obviously this month What If is coming out alongside Kraven the Hunter. Now, I'm not as bothered about Kraven the Hunter, but I'll probably be reading Kraven's Last Stand just because that is one of the best intros to Kraven the Hunter possible, and I haven't read it yet, so I'll probably be reading that. And then in terms of What If, I've got Moon Knight comics I may read. I may also read some Mech Avengers because I know they're going to be creating one massive mech at one point in the show. I'm possibly thinking maybe some Krakoan era Storm based stuff because Storm is making her first appearance in What If wielding Mjolnir, which just brings me so much joy. So I'm probably going to be reading stuff like that, and just generally any other character where I've gone, oh, I really enjoyed that episode, I want to read some more about you, or maybe just some What If stories in general. I don't know, I'll just see how things go, hence why I went for Any Comic I Want in it instead of any sort of specific comic book prompt. And this is my December TBR. Obviously I've got like Thornhedge, all of those comics, and the Toby Day book as well on top of this, but I'm pretty happy with how this turns out. I've got some urban fantasy in there, I've got werewolves, I've got Shadowhunters, I'm finishing off some series, I've got superheroes, which obviously brings me a great amount of joy, so I think I've got a nice sort of eclectic mix that I'm going to be reading. And I just forgot one as well, Tom Fletcher's The Creekers. Forgot about that one for a minute there, can't believe I forgot about that, but I'm going to be seeing The Creekers Creakers the musical in December, so I'll also be probably reading the Creakers at some point. So yeah, imagine this and the Creakers on top, because it's up there and I quite frankly can't be asked to get up right now, but that is also going to be on the list. So I've got a nice mix of like age ranges, subject matters, different types of fantasy, all of this kind of thing. So very, very excited for everything on this list. And that is the end of my December TBR. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me what you're reading in December. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a snowflake emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, which is going to be filled with all things Kraven the Hunter and What If you are interested in that. Or if books are more your thing, I'll also leave a link as well down below to my Bookish Etsy store if you want to treat yourself or someone else this Christmas to some Bookish merch. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. Until next time everyone, bye!